Hey guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So in today's video I'm going to show you part of the lesson on how to play a song called Hot Legs by Rod Stewart. This was kindly requested and supported by Gary, so big thanks goes out to him for the support. And like I said, this is going to be just a part of the lesson. The entire full lesson is available at GuitarForce.com. And I've separated the guitar parts into different videos. So because of the fact that there are two and even sometimes three guitar parts going on at the same time. So in this lesson we're going to break down just one rhythm guitar part of the song, and in the rest of the package you'll get also the lead plus the rhythm guitar part, which are kind of combined into one guitar in a separate video, plus this lesson as well, and also all of the tabs in PDF format, a backing track, and also a full playthrough, which I'm gonna try and post to my other channel here on YouTube if it allows it. And all of the links are gonna be in the description box down below, so if you're interested, please check it out. Also, the tabs and the backing track are going to be available on my Patreon page just separately. So if you're interested, check that out as well. And for this song, we're going to be in standard tuning. I was using for the sound, as usual, the VST plugin Guitar Rig with two different presets. So I'm going to show you the presets right now, and while you are checking it out, I'm going to play you my low E string so you can tune up and play along with this lesson. Alright, so in this video we're going to break down the rhythm guitar parts, and I'm saying guitar parts because there are two and at times three rhythm guitar parts going on. So we're gonna kind of make a combination of the the rhythm guitar parts in this video. So the one guitar is primarily playing kind of the same thing throughout the entire song, so we're not gonna spend too much time on that. And what I'm talking about, it basically follows the sort of like a blues progression, sort of like a 12-bar blues, and it's playing the same kind of rhythm throughout the entire song, which is very common to play during the blues progression. So it's basically, so we're in the key of G, right, and it goes into, plays G, then goes to C, right, then back to G, and then we have the sort of like a turnaround for the D. But on the D we stay for 2 bars, and then we're back to the G chord again. So that's the sort of the basic chord progression of the song. So one guitar, the rhythm guitar, what he's doing is he's playing just basically, you know, that part. So typical, like I said, blues rhythm guitar part. So what we have here is the G power chord, and we alternate it with the G6. So you just simply fret the 7th fret here on the A string. So one is on the 5th fret, the power chord, and then on the 7th fret. This is the 6th interval. So throughout the entire song he's just playing that, and when we go to C, basically follows the same pattern. And then back to G again, and then for the turnaround we go to D, obviously, and then he's not coming back to the C, but he goes back to the G again. So like I said, it's based on the blues progression, but not the entirely, you know, a 12-bar blues in a traditional sense. So that's guitar number one, rhythm guitar number one. Now we get into, we're gonna break down the second guitar, rhythm guitar, and also in the other video where I show the lead guitar, there's also going to be some parts of the rhythm guitar as well. So it's going to be a combination of lead and a rhythm guitar as well, so you can play actually the part on one guitar, if you will. But this one, it's going to be a different rhythm parts here, and it's more of kind of adding ad-lib, if you will, you know, playing just some phrases here and there. So let's break it down into parts. We're going to start off with the intro. So it's going to go like this. First I'm going to play through, then we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so as you can see, we start off with this double stop, which is a sixth double stop, again the sixth interval, and it starts off on the we're going to be playing on the D and the B strings on the same fret, so it starts off on the 7th fret, and the whole thing here is in the rhythm. So if you just follow the rhythm closely, you know, the rest is very simple. We are basically alternating between the D and the B strings. Alright, so that's the first part. So we have, and then we take that double stop when we move it down 2 frets to the 5th fret. So again on the D and the B strings, on the same fret, so on the 5th fret, and again we follow the same pattern here. So we have, all right, and then we just go to the G chord, and we have some rests, and you will see them in the tabs as well. But basically what we have is we're skipping the first beat, then we have the second. It's a short kind of staccato hit on the you know, the higher strings of the chord. So we're not hitting the whole chord, although you can. But you know, that's the thing with this, because we have 2-3 guitars going at the same time. You don't have to play the whole thing. You can if you want to, if you're playing on one guitar, but that's the thing. We're kind of dividing and separating the rhythm guitar parts into 2-3 sections, 2-3 parts. So getting back to the chord, so we hit the chord first, and then you hit it second time, you just let it ring out, and then you repeat the phrase again. So you have a rest for 1 beat, and then again hit the chord and let it ring out. Alright, so that's the first part of the intro. Very simple, as you can see. So one more time, the whole thing is gonna go like this. Alright, now we go into the second part of the intro, and we have here 2 guitars playing the same phrases but an octave apart. So on this guitar, on the rhythm guitar, we have the following phrases. It goes like this. Alright, so let's break down this phrase. We repeat this phrase 2 times. So we have open D string to the 2nd fret, then we go to the G open, then we have a 2nd fret with the bend up, release and pull off to the open, and then again you play 2nd fret to the open. So we have, and then we have. So you are bending the G string again on the 2nd fret, then you are fretting B on the 3rd fret, and then you go for the bend on the G string again, staying on this bend and adding some vibrato. By the way, the phrase starts off on the off beat, so we have 1 end, and then you start playing. So on the end you start playing the phrase, alright? So that's the phrase. One more time, slowly. And then you repeat again. Then we continue. The rhythm guitar part goes like this. Okay, so now we go to the C chord. C chord, you can play it here like a power chord. And then we stay on this chord for a whole bar, 4 beats. Then on to the next bar we have 1 beat rest, and then we have this phrase. So it's hammer on 5 to 7 on the D string, and then you go to the G string 5th fret, and then we have 5, 7, 5 on the D again, 8th notes, and then we go to G chord. You can play it again as a power chord. And you stay on this chord for 2 beats. Just hit it, let it ring out, and in the kind of middle of the second bar you can hit it again just to reinforce the chord. Alright, so just this part again, one more time. It's gonna go like this. Alright, moving on to the next part. The last part of the chord progression is gonna go like this. Okay, so we go to the D chord now. Again, you can play it as a kind of like a power chord, or you can, you know, almost full chord, or the power chord with an octave. And then we have, so again, typical kind of, you know, blues riff, but instead of you can play it here if you want to. But because we're in this position right here, I think it's a little bit easier to play it here. So we have 2nd fret on the G string 2 times, 4th fret on the same string 2 times, then we have 5, 2, 4, open. And all that is being played with the D string open at the same time. So you have, and then you go to the G chord. Hit the G chord, let it ring out for the whole bar. And then in the end we have this phrase, again starts off on the offbeat, so we have 1 and we go for this phrase. Alright, so it's a bend on a G string 2nd fret, bend it up, bring it down, play that note, open. Then we have 5th frets on the same string 3 times, 3rd fret, and then you go to the D string 5th fret. And add some vibrato on to the last note. And we go into the verse right after that. So that's pretty much it for the intro for this rhythm guitar part. So let me play the whole thing from the beginning up until this moment. Here it's gonna go like this. Alright, so now we go right into the verse. So we ended on the G note here on the 5th fret of the D string. And now it goes like this. So this rhythm guitar part is adding some phrases here and there, a couple of licks. So basically Rod is singing, and then after that the guitar player is adding some phrases. So the best way, I always say, just to listen carefully and try to play along with the track because of the timing. But we're gonna break down the phrases here. So the first phrase starts off again on the off beat, and it goes like this. Very simple. So open to the second fret on the D string, again starts off on the off beat, so 1 and then you hit the G string open, let it ring out, and then on the fourth beat we have second fret to the open on the D string. So then the next bar is silent, and then we go into the next bar, the fourth bar, and again we repeat the phrase. Then we go to the next chord, so now we go to C, and on the fourth beat of the bar we have the following phrase. So it's a quick slide on the double stops on the D and the G strings. So you can do it from the 9th fret, something like that. 9, 7, 5, all double stop, and then again 7, 5. And let it ring out. Okay, then we're back to the G. So again we repeat the phrase. And now we go to the D. So on the D we do the same thing as we did with the intro. So we have but here we go to the C chord. Alright, and then we have, so it's we go, the last phrase that we have again starts off on the off beat, and it's slightly different to the one that we did in the intro. So the beginning again, we bend the G string 2nd fret, bring it down, open, and then you just alternate between 2nd open, 2nd, and then you play double stop. Double stop basically a part of the G chord, which is open D and the G strings. Like that. So that's the verse part. One more time, the whole thing is gonna go like this. Alright, so after that we go into the chorus, which is pretty simple. So what we have is basically just alternating between the 5th fret double stop on the D and the G strings with the open double stop again on the same strings. And again, it's all about the rhythm. So there is no really a lot of explanation to do. You can see all of the notes written out in the tablature. And yeah, there are some things like stylistic things where you have the, you know, when you hit the notes, it's a staccato, meaning again the short ones, so you have little rests in between. But the best way is just to listen carefully to the track, like I said, and it also follows the sort of the vocal line. All right, so it kind of complements it. So listen carefully to the voices as well for the vocal line. So basically we have this part which goes, then the second time we have, so we alternate just once here on the 3rd fret. All right, so instead of the 5th fret double stop, we have, second time we alternate it on the 3rd fret. It could be actually on the 2nd fret, but you know, to me it sounds like it's playing on the 3rd fret. It's really, some of the parts are really kind of hard to hear, but that's what I'm hearing. So take it with a grain of salt. It's either on the 3rd fret, on the 2nd fret. It sounds good to me either way, but on the 3rd fret is kind of a little bit more closer to home because we're in G. Anyway, so that's the part. So rhythmically it's gonna go like this. I'm gonna play the whole thing now, and you will hear how it goes. So it goes like this. So in the end there, we have a little bit more of the rest, and it, like I said, it follows the vocal line. So before we go into the next verse, after he sings "I love you, honey," or whatever he's singing, we then add this, you know, just in the end to close the chorus. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the chorus. Then after that we go back to playing verse number 2, which is exactly the same as verse number 1. There might be a slight variation of the slide when we go in this part. Instead of from up here, you go from down here, but that's a very small detail. I'm not gonna, you know, even explain it too much. So it's just a slide, and then the rest is the same, you know, that phrase. And then when we go to the D chord again, and then we're back to the chorus. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the first part of the song. Then after that we go into, there is a bass break there, and then we go into the solo. So for the solo, it's kind of broken down rhythm, but you know, once you put it together and you know what to play, it kind of makes sense in terms of rhythm. Alright. So it's a little bit hard to explain because of the little stops and rests in between, but let me first explain it to you, then I'm gonna play it through and you will see that the whole thing it makes sense. And I'll try to do it with a metronome as well. So starts off the solo. Actually, I'm sorry, before we get into the solo, we have again this bridge where we have so we play this bridge right after the bass break. We play the bridge and then we go into the solo. Alright, so for the solo, the rhythm guitar is doing this. So it starts off on the off beat on the 1 end, and we have the double stop again on the 5th fret on the D and the G strings. Then we have another rest, and then again you hit the double stop again. Then we go into the next bar. It starts off on the off beat as well on the 1 end, and we have, so it's 5th fret double stop on the B and the G strings this time. Go into the 3rd fret, then back to the 5th again, and then we add 5 to 7 with the slide out on the D string. So it's, then we go right into this chord. We're playing double stops here, but they're all based on the chord as well. So it's on the 7th fret on the G string, 8th fret on the B, rest, and then you add the higher part of the double stop, which is on the 7th, high E8 again on the B string. So kind of sharing the B string here. Then we have another, we go into the next bar, the fourth bar. We have a rest, and again the double stop, the higher one. One more rest, and then we have, so it's double stop, 5th fret, and then you go hit the these double stop 8 and 7 on the B and the E 2 times, like that. And then we're back to the this part where we had alright, so here just playing single notes, or again you can play the double stops, so 5th fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret, and now this time instead of going 5-7 like we did in the first time, we do 7-5. Okay, so it's, and then moving on, we have the next bar, which goes like this. So again, starts off on the off beat, a 5th fret, double stop, D and the G strings to the 3rd fret, and then you go from the 3rd fret on the B and the G strings, sliding up to the 5th, and then hitting that double stop again. Then we move on to the next couple of bars. So this one is a little bit different. So we have, so on the 3rd fret on the high E and the B strings, again starting off on the off beats. Then we go to the 5th fret on the B and the G strings, and then back to the first double stop. Then we have the next bar again. So slightly different here. Starts off with this double stop going to the 5th fret B and D strings, and then you have, so 6th fret on the B, 5 on D. So we're sliding into this one that we did before. So, and again, it's all about the rhythm. So it's like that. Now we go for the turnaround. So we have 7th fret on the B and the G strings, and then you have the second fret, the second double stop, I'm sorry, on the 8th fret, B, 7 on the G. So it's back to the first double stop. Couple of rests, and then we have the following phrase. So it's this double stop, then you add the high E on the 8th fret as well, and then 2 times 7th fret. I know it sounds a little bit more complicated than it is, but just explaining the double stops and how it goes. It's all about the rhythm here. So it's, and then we have sort of the ending is gonna go like this. So we have 5th fret double stop on the B and the G strings to the 3rd fret, and then 3 times 5th fret double stop on the D and the G strings, and then you catch also the B string double stop, and then we have on the offbeat going 8 frets double stop on D and the G strings. It goes 8, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, like that. And then we go into the part where we play the chorus. In the end there we just add a little bit of more of the like that. So that's pretty much it for the solo part. I'm gonna play it, like I said, the whole thing. So first I'm gonna play it through and then I'll play with the metronome. So it's gonna go like this, the first round. Alright, so here's the solo section with the metronome, and I'm gonna play it a little bit slower so you can hear better how it goes. It goes like this. Okay, so after the solo part, we go into the third verse, which is exactly the same for the rhythm guitar, what we did in the previous verses. And then after that, we go into the end of the song, which is, it goes into chorus basically for 3 times, 3 rounds of the chorus. So it's exactly the same thing. There is, however, when they go into sort of the outro, the second part of the chorus, there is a little ad-lib on the rhythm guitar, and it's more of sort of like getting a little bit of the rhythmical part here, but we're gonna go over it. So in the tabs you will see where we have the outro, and it's also the second time when we go into the chorus, in the end of the second chorus, we have this rhythmical figure. So first I'm gonna play just the rhythmical figure so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I will play it with the chorus so you hear it in the context of the chorus, how it goes. So basically what we have is just some muted strings, and also adding this part of the G chord, but he's not playing it with the bass note, he's just playing it with this double stop, which is on the A and D strings on the 5th fret. Alternatively, you can play it, you know, the open D and the G strings, however you want to play it. But because of the muted strings, I find it a little bit easier to play, you know, because you're muting, you're fretting the strings with your fingers with your left hand, and it's easier to make the muted strings obviously, and then you play, you know, you just have more control. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you want to, you can play, you know, with the open strings. It's totally up to you. It doesn't make any difference. So the rhythmical figures goes like this. We start off on the off beat, so it's 1, and then we have, so it's 2 16th notes of the muted strings, and then you hit the double stop for the whole beat. So we have, then we repeat again. Now this time the muted strings starting on the on beat, so on the 3rd beat we have, and you let it ring out until the end of the bar. Then we go into the next bar. Now this time we start off on the 1st beat, so we have, let it ring out, then we have, so 2 times just eighth notes of the muted strings, and then you hit the double stop for the whole beat, and then again in the end muted strings eighth notes, and then you hit the double stop, and you can also hit the open strings, and after that we go into the. Alright, so let me just play through the this figure with the muted strings. Is gonna go like this slowly. Alright, one more time. Also, another tip here is it follows again the vocal line, so listen carefully to that. Alright, they kind of play it in sync, the guitar and the vocals as well. Alright, so that's the only part which is different when we play during the chorus. So now let me play the second round of the chorus with this rhythmical figure. It's gonna go like this. Alright, so in the end they just cut out a little bit short of the whole round of the chorus. Just keep that in mind the third time. But that's pretty much it for the entire rhythm guitar part for this rhythm guitar part. Alright guys, that was it for this part. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to continue learning the rest of the song, the other part, check out the link in the description box down below. Thank you for watching. Please comment, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Don't forget to visit GuitarForce.com for more guitar lessons. In the meantime, I'll see you again. Take it easy, and as always, let the force be with you.